Welcome. This is Teachin Fishin Coffee Hour for the last Monday, actually the last day of November 2020. It's November 30. Good morning to see. Good morning to everybody here. Hi, Jimmy Steele. Kim is with us. Lee Gould. Hi, Lee. How are you? Randy Ployster says, looking at pics from Friday, he says they were fishing in our wake. Good. That means you caught a bunch. Mitch Lidge, Danny Barden, Brian Pazalk. Hi, Brian. Kyle Miller. Hi, Kyle. Gary Sack. Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Ryan says it feels like a Friday. He's put in a full weeks of work this weekend. Hopefully you're stocking up on those great Rytech mounts. Mark Ash, Gary Atchison, Gooch is with us. Hello, hello, hello. Robert Cahoon. Hi, Robert. Barth Plowman. Hi, Barth. Harold. Hey, Harold. Morning, Rock. Morning, Forrest. Del Roush, as he always does every morning, says wakey, wakey. Danny Barden is with us. Hi, Dan. John Gall, a good friend from Pro Walleye. Hi, Johnny. Jeff Morrow says, had a great time brawling. Nothing to put on the scales. We caught a ton of fish. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Herb says, I'm going to order a set of rod holders. Trax Tech had a good Black Friday. They have a Cyber Monday special going on. We'll post it. We'll link it to our Teachin Fishin page here. I know Trax Tech's got a great sale going on today on Cyber Monday. Jason Blakeney is with us from the Lake Erie Shoreline Anglers. Thank you, Jason, for joining. Appreciate that. Sounds like that's a group that I need to talk to. Jason, you and I need to kind of connect somewhere offline here at some point and kind of talk a little bit. I'm really curious kind of how you guys do things a little different, what kind of help we can give you, what kind of help you can give us. I think that'd be kind of a fun conversation to have. So let's stay in touch here, Jason. Maybe today or tomorrow we'll connect, private message, and hook up. It'd be fun to talk to you guys. Paul Phillips, hi, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Arlo Tonks, hi, Arlo. Haven't seen him in a while. Herb Confer, hi, Herbie. Forrest says a sad day. The golf clubs are going to the basement. Roderick Wilkins is in Ohio Deer Camp. Jim Steele says the tuner was the talk of the town. I'd like to know what that talk was because obviously I don't have a radio on that boat yet. Just never got a chance to get it on. I'm curious to hear what was said about the tune, Jimmy. The tune was awesome. Ryan, our good friend from Rytech, says 25 plus orders from the sale, getting ready to go out. It was a busy weekend. Good for him. All right, here's our bad joke. We can officially get started now. John Suzalka says, why did the Siamese twins go to England? So the other one could drive. Okay, now we're off to our start. Matt Labana, a good friend from Slow Trolling Inc. LLC on Facebook. Hi, Matt. How are you? We talked to Matt a little bit. Thanks, Jason. Connected with Matt a little bit through Facebook out on the water. Morning, Jeremy. How are you? Anyway, so I just want to let me kind of hit up here. I did something to my foot. I have no idea what I did because I didn't do anything to my foot. My foot hurts. So, good morning, Chris. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this fall fishing. I just want to kind of wrap up our weekend, and I want to talk about some. I got a topic for today. So, actually, my topic for today. Don't answer yet. I want to kind of go through my weekend real quick. My topic for today is cold water fishing tips. What are some things that you do? Let me back up. Cold weather. What are some things you do in cold weather? Be it on your boat, be it on your person, be it on your body, be it on your equipment. How do you adjust to fishing in cold water? That's kind of something I want to talk about today. So anyway, we went out this weekend. We drove down Friday morning. Larry Cameron and myself. Dean Cushman met us down in Huron. We had breakfast. We headed out deep water, 46, 47, 48 feet of water. did really well. Got on a line of fish. You know, there were no brawl fish out there. We were catching, 4 to 6 pound fish. We had one that was probably 7. We were out there. And once we got on those fish, we knew we weren't probably going to catch a brawl fish. So we just stayed with it. We ended up, we kept our 18 and probably could have had a few more. Later in the afternoon, we moved in shallower, thinking maybe we could get a big fish in shallower. So we moved in close to Cedar Point, caught a few more in there. They were smaller. They were 2 to 4 pound fish. So we called it a day, wrapped that up. It was a great day of fishing, just an absolutely fantastic day of fishing. And then, so Chris McCulley came down Saturday morning to fish with Dean, Larry and I on the pontoon. And then Dean and Chris in Dean's boat. We're going to kind of separate. Went over to Lorraine because some of the bigger fish have been caught kind of that part of the world, a little bit east. So we went over there. Water was rough. I mean, it was legit. 3s and 4s going out. Tune handled it great. It was funny. We got some funny looks at the boat ramp from a couple guys. One in a Ranger and one in a Lund. And they're kind of looking at us kind of weird, and you could kind of hear the conversation going on. And honestly, we blew right past them on the way out. They were kind of doing their typical boat thing, right? Pound, pound. We just went, doot, 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 doot. Went right past them. So that's always funny. So if you're one of the guys who was talking about how crazy I was being on the tune and I passed you, suck it, as they say. That tune is amazing in rough water. And actually, the rougher the water is, the better it runs. So we were able to get up on top of those waves. Most guys are going 8, 10 mile an hour. We were able to get up on top of those waves and run 15, 18, sometimes 20 on the way out into 3, 4 foot waves. Guys who don't know and run their mouth about the tune have no idea. I haven't had anybody in a tune in rough water that hasn't said they'd rather be in the tune in 2, 3, 4 foot waves. They'd rather be on the tune than in a regular boat. That's to a man. Everybody I've had on my boat, and I'm talking guys who own Rangers and Warriors and Lunds and everything else. They would rather be on that pontoon in rough water once they've been on it. They'd rather be on the pontoon, the Angler Quest in rough water, than they would their regular boat. So I'm just saying, the amount of room we had to fish is amazing. But anyway, it was a good fishing day. Saturday wasn't as good. We went over that way looking for big fish. Again, in those kind of waves, even though you can run, you really don't run a lot. If you get on a spot, you kind of fish a little longer because picking up and doing everything is a little tougher in those kind of waves. So we caught a couple, went back, made another pass, made a few adjustments. Dean and Chris caught a couple in the same area. They ended up going further east, the dumping grounds, and got a couple steelhead. We went back west and went in shallow just to the west of Vermilion. Marked a lot of fish in that hard bottom area. There were a lot of rocks, a lot of rock piles in there. Marked a lot of fish in there, but they were right on the bottom. We could see them on side imaging. They were right tight to the bottom. We just couldn't get any of those to go. So we ended up with, 4 or 5 on Saturday. Like I said, we left the fish out deep because they weren't brawl fish. We were looking for a chance at one big one, and we just ran in shallow thinking maybe, and there you go. But good day, fun days. I don't get to fish much just for fun anymore. I've said that lots of times, but man, I'll tell you what, when you do what you like to do for a living, sometimes you don't want to go do what you like to do. That makes sense. But I'll tell you what, it's been so much fun. The fishing education weekend I had a couple friends in from Iowa, the guy that bought the boat, Mike Schoonfield, a outdoor writer. I fished with them Friday, Saturday of our trip. Sunday I fished with Chris McCulley and Dean and Jeff Malinowski and Greg Pollock and Jason Kelly on the pontoon. We had a blast. Fished with Larry and Dean on Friday. Larry Kimmer on Saturday. I just am really, really enjoying just fishing. So that's kind of fun. So anyway, it's kind of how it went. Just kind of wanted to kind of tune you in there. So yeah, it's funny. So guys, I like this from Roy. Sending a few pics of your Angler Quest online. Guys saying the owner was crazy. Oh, that's funny. It was a fantastic ride. John, I think the Cyber Monday and the Teachin Fishin discount are exactly the same. So I would use the Cyber Monday. Anyway, so yeah, Matt Fish said he fished the last 6 days of the brawl. He's pooped. I can believe that. I know guys who went 24 hours a day for 3 or 4 days straight. And a couple guys didn't come off their boats for about 70 hours. I'm not that hardcore, that's for sure. So, but anyway, let's kind of roll here. What kind of adjustments or what kind of things do you guys do in cold weather? Mick says he fishes with his wife, so he doesn't have to snuggle up with any dudes. Smart thinking, Mick. What do you guys do, or anglers? What do you guys do to when you're fishing cold weather, right? What do you do to your boat? What do you do to your equipment? What do you do to yourself? Kind of how do you kind of take the cold weather and kind of, make it not be a big disadvantage. I know I get a lot colder than I used to. I know being overweight, obese. I know it made it really hard. I was really excited last year because I had lost about 60. I'm about 58 pounds heavier than I was last November, and I'm frustrated with that. That's another story for another day. That's disappointing because it's all my fault. But I remember last year going to Huron and doing some test rides, and it was cold, and putting all my cold weather gear on and going, man, oh man, I got all this room. I can move around. It's easy to move around. I'm thinking maybe I'll buy some smaller stuff. I had all my, good underwear on, my good long johns. I stayed warm. And this year, because of the weight I've put back on, some of the clothes I needed I couldn't wear. I couldn't wear enough of them. So that's a frustrating thing for me. But we're going to fix that. But I know having the right clothes is huge. John says in cold water he switches to larger baits. Not only is there no small bait left, but predators prefer to maximize their value. We talked about that a lot. Switching to larger baits. Matt says he was out brawling for the last couple of days. Caught a couple fish over 10 and one just under 10. Didn't really find the fish. I think the first, I think the top 6 places in the brawl were over 12 pounds. So Matt says, how is the tune in 5 to 6 foot waves? Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you about the Angler Quest. And this is, you can, if you're going to go out, if the waves are not bad enough to keep you on shore, I would rather be in the Angler Quest than any boat you've got. I don't care if it's a big, giant, huge craft, all enclosed. I will run past you in the tune. I will fish more comfortable in the tune, because when your boat's on 1 keel and you're in the waves and you're going like this, my tune's on 3 keels going like this. I get very, very little side-to-side movement because a traditional boat has 1 center point and it rolls on that center point. I have 3, and it's like I ride a tricycle. It's really hard to tip a tricycle over, right? It's the same thing. I can get on tops of the waves. The only thing I really, sorry about that. The only thing I would really do different on my pontoon, and I don't, only because it's a very, very short part of my year. And again, I don't keep those pontoons for, I think I turn those every two to 2.5 years. There is a enclosure that you can get. I don't know if I would go full enclosure because I don't like being enclosed. I've been in a boat before, some big salmon boats and that, where actually, the helm is actually inside the enclosure. I don't like that. When I'm enclosed, that's one of the things I don't like about some other boats. I don't like being enclosed. Yes, I know it's a little bit drier. That pontoon being a center console, if you do hit a wave kind of on an angle, it comes up and you're in that center console, it gets you. I don't like being enclosed in a boat because you don't feel those little changes. When you're in the boat driving and you're enclosed, and I feel the same way about a heater, except maybe just a little something to keep your hands a little bit warm. When you're in the boat and you can't feel the outside conditions, you don't feel that little 10-degree shift in the wind. You don't feel that wind pick up 5 or 10 miles an hour. You don't feel, you don't really see the water difference. You don't look at the water. I personally believe you cannot fish as good in an enclosed cabin as you can outside. I truly believe that. I would like to figure out a way though to keep some of the waves. One thing that pontoon does is, like any other boat, when it hits, when you go up on a wave and you kind of hit one, like any boat, you get some spray. And that spray does go out, but that spray also gets blown back in the boat. It'd be nice to kind of keep some of that down a little bit, but I really would not want a full enclosure. I like being out in the elements, as crappy as it is. I like being out and feeling and being able to look at how many times have you guys been fishing? It just smells right? It just smells like you're going to catch a fish. When you're enclosed in a cabin, especially when you get some heat on, you can't do that. I would rather suffer for 8 hours, do my fishing the best I can do it, than be enclosed. I don't like being enclosed. That's me. But Matt, to answer your question about 5-6 foot waves, if the waves are good enough that you're going to go fishing, I'd be more than happy to go in the pontoon and probably fish as good, if not better, than most guys in regular boats. Matt says, Saturday we fished like a tournament and found high in the column active school about a mile long, made 4 passes and found 9-pound 10-ouncer. We thought was much bigger. Hey, Dougie. Dougie Ward has got an angler request. Maybe he can kind of chime in here in rough water. Dave says he puts toe warmers in the palm of his gloves. They stick in place. I have started on the river. That's a great point, Dave. I've started putting hand warmers in the back of my gloves. So what I found out on the river is I can't fish with gloves. Now, Brian Wolfgram sent me a pair of Sims gloves they're puller fleece, but they have open fingers and they have an open palm, so you can kind of do what you need to do. I found on the river, Ron Berry, a good friend of mine, he wears those blue nitrite gloves or nitrile gloves, kind of the heavy rubber glove. Those give you good enough feel, but they also keep the moisture off. That's the big thing. I started wearing those, and I would put a hand warmer in the back of those on the back of my hand. So my palm is free to fish. But I put them on the back of my hand. It just gives me a little bit of warmth on the back of my hand. Great point, Dave. Those little toe warmers that stick, just something to do. Because I don't like fishing in gloves. I just can't find. I can't find a pair of gloves that I can actually feel what I want to feel. So I would rather have cold fingers and still be able to feel than have hands in gloves. I don't like my hands. Even trolling when you're not jig fishing. Obviously, you don't want gloves. Even trolling, having the rod in your hand and turning the handle with gloves, it just doesn't feel right. So, but I do know those heavy duty rubber gloves work great. And like Dave Hines says, put a hand warmer in there and that keeps you a little bit warm. Jeremy makes a good point. Multiple sets of hand warmers and dry towels. He puts the hand warmers in the different layers. Towels are a big deal in when it's cold. Start with a stack of dry towels. That way you can keep your hands dry. Keeping them dry helps keep them warm. You always got pockets. I'll throw a couple hand warmers in my slip pockets on my rain gear. So I've always got a place to keep my hands warm. I started wearing a muff. I wear a muff on the Detroit River, one of those things that goes around your waist and buckles and has the hand thing and the muff in the middle. I put a couple hand warmers in there, and that way when I'm running from spot to spot, I'll set the boat on autopilot, run up the river, and I'll put my hands in there and get them warm when I get to fishing. But I have a hard time wearing gloves. Roy Miller, dress in layers. I think that is important. He uses good quality stuff and he keeps his hands warm. Keeping your hands and your head warm is a big deal. That's a big deal. Dressing in layers is a big deal. We had a conversation a couple months ago about staying warm. Don't use cotton. A good base layer and multiple layers. That's a big deal. Dress in layers so you can not only can you stay warm, but you create an air pocket. Once you get those air pockets between layers warm, that air stays warm and you stay warmer. So good quality base layer I think is the key. Something that's going to wick the moisture from your body but keep everything from coming out. Mick and I are on kind of the same page. I don't slow down my presentation as much as some. Not afraid to still go faster per the conditions. Some days yes, some days no. Doug Wart, hand muff and hand warmers. There you go. The hand muff's a cool thing. Matt says he always brings extra dry clothes. Great point. Monday we were at the dock. All the boats and docks were frosty, and a gentleman sat on the side of his boat to swing in and slid into the water. We had to walk him back to the ramp. Always carry, this time of year, always carry an extra pair of clothes, extra pair of socks, extra pair of underwear, even if it's just a pair of sweatpants, a shirt, and a sweatshirt. Have extra stuff in your truck just in case something like that happens. Or you get out and you get really wet. Maybe you have a situation where it's raining or it's windy or whatever the case may be. Have an extra set of clothes in your truck. That is huge. That's a huge deal. Ryan says, I'm going to back up. First thing we need to talk about in cold weather. I'll tell you what, I was actually, you wouldn't know by the way I've acted the last couple months, but I don't get mad very often. I'm a little frustrated this year. I don't get mad very often. I'll tell you, I was absolutely sick to see the amount of people on Lake Erie on Saturday when it was blowing. It was consistent 3-4 foot waves. And it was rough, and they were coming from different directions, and it was rough. I was absolutely sick to my stomach to see how many guys were fishing without PFDs on. I've heard 2 or 3 stories of guys falling in at the ramp. I don't know, whatever. I'm honestly, I'm tired of preaching about it, because obviously a lot of guys don't care. So I guess why should I? But I can't believe you would have been on the water Saturday without a PFD on. It would have took you, with the clothes we had on Saturday and the way the wind was and the way the weather was, with 6, 9 line, 12 lines out, whatever. By the time your buddies got that boat turned around to get you, you were dead. You would have been dead without a PFD. So, I guess. Matt says, wool insoles in his lacrosse boots. There you go. I like that. I told you guys earlier about those alpaca socks. Like those. Rock says, merino wool inner layer, wool outer layer under waterproof. The merino wool is good stuff. The alpaca stuff, the merino wool, all that stuff is starting to really kind of make a comeback. We went to all synthetic man-made materials for a while. Now we're starting to see these guys kind of come back. To some of the wool stuff they've done. They've made tighter weave, so it's more windproof. It's a little more waterproof. It's a little more easier to care for, I think, is a lot of it. That's a big deal. So yeah, good stuff, right? Just good layers. Tim McFarland likes battery-powered hand warmer. Just keep them on low in your coat pocket. Slide your hands in and out. I know one thing I have on my Christmas list. I have a heated vest. Mark Pananzak turned me on to a heated vest. He wears one, Jason Quinton. They wear one in Detroit, and I've got a heated vest on my Christmas list. Getting old, but I'll go with that. Battery-powered hand warmers. I know guys who wear those battery-powered socks. I've been really lucky with boots, with the alpaca socks, and I have a pair of muck boots like I wore, and then I have a pair of boots that actually are almost too warm that I got from the Red Wings or Irish Setters, one of the two. I think they're Red Wings. That I told you about earlier in the year. They are awesome. They actually would have probably been too warm this weekend. That's how warm they are. So I've got those muck boots with alpaca socks, golden, and my feet get cold, and they do not get cold with that setup. Jason says, do you reel in fish with gloves on? Can't seem to find a pair of gloves. I can't fish with gloves on, Jason. Like I said, those heavy duty rubber gloves I've used. They do help because you do have feel, right? They're basically surgeon's gloves, right? So if a guy can cut your body apart and take pieces out with those gloves on, I could probably have enough dexterity to fish. But I really only wear those when it's really, really, really cold. I like to fish without gloves. Jim Steele is loving the alpaca socks for hunting. Good idea there, wasn't it, Diane? They are warm. They are a beauty. Good base layer underwear, float suit, wool socks, heater. Paul says he respools his reels for the fall. That's something good too. before you start, if you're gonna do the brawl, and you're going to do it hardcore, I think it's important. I would tell you this: if you fished all summer on Saginaw Bay, or Lake Erie, wherever, if you fished a lot this summer, and you're serious about winning a $100,000 boat, I think it is a good idea to respool your reels right before you start your fall fishing. That line's, been used all year. It's been stretched. It's kind of probably got wear spots on it. Why would you take a chance of losing a 13, 14 pound fish because you didn't put an extra $7 a line on your reel? So, great idea. I like that. Scott Berg, I've heard a lot of guys do this, and I haven't quite done this yet, but I think the heated vest is going to stop this. But I like this. He wears a kidney belt with hand warmers. Keeps your blood warm. I know a lot of guys that do, and I think somebody, was it Hot Hands or whatever, one of the hand warmer people, I think, make a kidney belt that actually you can put those hand warmers in. That's good. That's, if you can keep your torso warm, right? That's why, I do wear, if it gets really cold, my one layer I do is I add a vest. I don't add anything extra on my arms. Once my arms get to the point where I have 2 or 3 layers on in my rain jacket, I don't want to get any more bulk than that. So if I get still in cold, I put an extra layer on my torso, and that seems to help quite a bit. Lee makes a great point. Good quality outerwear. He uses AFCO stuff. I used my AFCO jacket this weekend, loved it. The AFCO Hydronaut, absolutely love it. He says he now has the extreme weather for colder temps. Also, I'm glad you said this, Lee. I'm glad you brought this up because I didn't want to sound like a commercial. Reaper hoodies with the face covering is great. He says he prefers mittens over gloves. The boat, not much. He takes a screen off the live well intake and put a cap on it to keep the water out. Like that idea. Typical drain motor when you leave the ramp. Fishing wise, bigger baits, a little more subtle action, but I still let the fish dictate his speed. I love his 2 comments that I really love there. The Reaper hoodie, guys, are amazing. They've got an interior lining that keeps you warm and breaks the wind. The outer material kind of helps keep warmth in and stops the wind. The cool thing is they got that insert that you can actually cover, 3/4 of your ears and your face when you're running, and then the hood comes up and pulls up tight. So I would pull my Reaper, I'm gonna call it the face mask part of it, up around my ears and around my face, and then put my hood on and pull it tight when I was running. Then I got where I was fishing, I take it off because it was actually a little too warm when I was just fishing, but running it was awesome. I love that Reaper hoodie, and then the AFCO suit. I wore my both my gill and my AFCO jacket this weekend. I love them both, and but that Reaper sweatshirt or Reaper hoodie is amazing. I really like my AFCO outer jacket. I gotta be honest with you, it was a little too snug because someone's gotten a little too fat. So, but I do love my Reaper. That Reaper is a good deal. All right, Chuck Mason. Awesome little tip here, Chucky. Thanks. This is a little ice fishing trick. There are wrist sweatbands on the market with zippered pockets for keys, etc. Put hand warmers in them, rotate so that the warmer's on the bottom of the wrist. Found that it keeps the blood warm and makes a difference in a bad day. That is the tip of the day right there. I've seen those wristbands, so you can put your keys or a little bit of money in there. They have a little zipper pouch. I love that. Put a hand warmer in there, turn it so the inside, the hand warmer's on the inside, keeps the blood warm going to your fingers. Beauty. Thanks, Chucky. I like that tip. That's, huh. I like that one. Roy Miller says, I learned the extra set of clothes the hard way. I had to stop at Frank's, buy clothes for the ride home. Yeah, I because of my life and kind of what goes on, I always have a full bag in my truck, 365 days a year. A full day's clothing and an extra sweatshirt in my bag, in my truck all the time. A set of toiletries, because there are places I go and things I do that you don't know. Sometimes you may end up spending the night. You may get some bad weather, not be able to get home, whatever the case may be. So I always have a full change of clothes. I have a full, basically, overnight bag in my truck. Pair of socks, underwear, pair of sleep pants, basically a pair of Under Armour sweatpants, basically, t-shirt, sweatshirt, and a set of toiletries just in case I get stuck. So that's something I do all the time. So I always have extra clothes, and I've had to use them. Here is something that I want to talk. Matt says he keeps a dry bag with clothes, glow sticks, protein bar, handheld radio. So he's got a ditch bag, which I love. No reason not to have a ditch bag on your boat in case something does happen. You got everything you need in one spot. Eating. We're going to have Dr. John Vossolo is going to come in studio one of the Tuesdays this month or in December, and we're going to do a live deal. He wants to talk about men's health as it relates to fishing. He's going to talk about weight issues. He's going to talk about blood pressure. He's going to talk about exercises we can do to keep our back and legs strong. Because you guys know as well as I do, 2 or 3 days on the boat rocking back, man, your thighs hurt, your hips hurt, your back hurts. There's a lot going on there, right? But he's also going to talk about how we can stay healthy, sun protection. One of the things he talked about was eating and drinking while we're fishing to keep mental edge, to keep quick, to keep smart, to keep your attention level up, and in the wintertime to keep warm. The more you eat as your body starts to, and good food, right? You can't eat crap, can't eat a bag of Doritos, but as you're eating good food, when you're out there in the cold, your body starts to digest that food, and that starts this whole chain reaction, your body moving, you stay warmer. So eating something good, a protein bar or something every 2 hours is a lot better than the traditional fisherman's diet, which is a big breakfast, stop at the bathroom before you go, and eat a big giant dinner at 8 o'clock that night, which is what most of us do. But he's going to come in and talk about water, why water is important, especially in cold weather, why eating is important, all those things. So we're going to have him here as a special guest one of the Tuesdays in December. So look for that. So there's another guy. Kim wears a kidney belt. Mitch layers and finishes with his rain jacket. There you go. Mick says alpaca socks. He says yes, his aunt has an alpaca farm. Send me some for Christmas. Hey, Mick, if she sells to the public, I'd love to have a link to her place because I love my alpaca stuff. And if we can buy it from somebody that we know or a friend of somebody, we'd love to give her the business. So if she actually has a business online, let me know, Mick. We'd love to send our guys to her. Rocco says the Western Basin from Port Clinton to Maumee, the big fish were staged there. I think that's part of the world that gets overlooked this time of year is the Western Basin. So Dougie says loves his Angler Quest. Spot on with the commentary on him. Lance, I've been coming back in true 5 to 6s. Captain Dave Hines has been in his one's pretty rough. 826 is pretty sweet. The race he reaches across the waves with the 822 is better to trim up and push into him. The 26 doesn't lift the nose as well, but longer does rise from there. And I'm right in the middle. I have a 24. I have a 24. So probably the best of both worlds. The longer those boats are, the harder they are to lift, like any boat, right? And the shorter they are, the easier they are to get up and push through. I'm right in the middle. I have an 824, and I do. I like that extra couple feet. Once you learn to ride it, right? I mean, the first time I drove my 24-foot pontoon, and the tunes are about 26 feet long on that 24-foot pontoon, on that 24-foot Angler Quest. So first time I was in really rough water going with them, right? Which is nothing. You get up on top, you kind of glide down. And I've driven in rough water. I started tournament fishing in 1997. I've driven in rough water a lot. I'm not uncomfortable with it. Well, what I didn't think about is I'm used to driving a 21-foot boat. Well, now I've got an extra 5 feet out front. When I came down off a wave, I actually went right into the back one and literally put enough water on the front deck of that Angler Quest. I had 4 guys on the front deck sitting on the front chairs. I literally lifted the motor out of the water. There was green water halfway back the seats on the front deck of my. I mean, it was underwater. Now the beauty of that is, as soon as I came out the throttle, she popped right back up. The water drained out, and everybody's feet got wet. But that was the end of it. But I had to learn that I have a little more length. I have a little more length out there, and once you learn how to use that length, it definitely works to your advantage. But the first time, I buried her. I basically submarined it. So there you go. Corey says wear longer socks, like wader socks. You can lose a lot of heat from your femoral artery. There you go. Tommy says not a glove guy either. I have wristbands, but the warmer on the inside. I love that idea. I can't. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go look when we're done online for those wristbands with a zipper. I think that's an awesome idea. Warms your blood going to hands. Muff is also a great option. Good pair of boots with both socks. Can't be beat for your feet. Hands, feet, head. You keep those three warm, the rest of the body will stay warm. Mikey, how are you? I got your email the other day, Mike. I'm working on a solution for you where we don't have to deal with getting a rod back, and all that stuff. So I'm working for. I got your email. Just give me a couple days here. I'm working on a solution for you. Fleece wader pants. Yeah, I like that. That's a good deal. So I carry 2 different weights of long john pants, and I carry 2 different weights of fleece pants. I have a light set and a light set and a medium set of long johns, and I have a medium set and a heavier set of fleece pants, and some combination of those two in my AFCO rain pants. I'm warm. So, but I do carry 2 different weights of long johns, and then 2 different weights of fleece pants, and some combination of the 4 somewhere in there is right for the day. And I'd rather be too warm than too cold. That's for sure. Hey, Dan Demagalski's out in the hunting blind. Good. Hope you have a good morning. That's the name I was looking for. Forrest says Thermocare makes a back warmer. So there you go. I like it. Matt says AFCO Reaper. I love on the water, but it has to go in the truck. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I wore my Reaper home from fishing on Friday, and by the time it was smoking hot. They are warm, and they are tough to wear. They're warm in the truck, and some guys don't like that thing around their neck. I don't mind it, but it is too hot. It's funny. I don't like to be cold when I'm fishing, but I'd rather have the heat a little cool in the other place. I love to sleep when it's cold. I like to be, in here it's cold. We keep it in here 64, 65 degrees. I like my car cold. If I got to turn on the defroster, I got windows open. But I hate being cold when I'm fishing or hunting or ice fishing or just outside. So that's kind of weird. But get yourself a Reaper, guys. I just ordered 2 more. So, there you go. Tom says, "Come on, Lance, fat." Yeah, I'm fat. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I had lost 51 pounds last year. I'm actually 58 pounds heavier than I was last November. I did do something I never ever thought I would do, and this is for another conversation later, but I did hit the magic 300 mark. Believe it or not, I weigh 300 pounds. And it's disgusting, it's embarrassing, it is frustrating because it's all my fault. It is debilitating. There are things I couldn't do on the boat with ease, and I'm like, man, if something happened, I'm really not in good enough shape to help. So we lost 50 pounds last year. We know how to do it. We started back on that road today, and we're going to get it fixed. So there you go. But yeah, I have no problem calling myself fat. That's what I am. That's what I am. Mick Broughton, where's Lee? Says, yeah, Mick asked him if the AFCO cold water suit was insulated. It's got, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's 300 grams insulation, 300 or 400. So that's actually fairly new. Doug says he wears a Striker bibs, ice armor hoodie, vest, and Muck Arctic Sports, warm setup. warm feet and core of the key. Always a bag of dry towels in the boat. That's a big deal. Extra hand warmers. I know when we go to Detroit River, we buy 3 or 4 cases. You know, you can buy the case of hand warmers like 24 or 48 in there. You know, take 3 cases down to Detroit River, keep them in my locker, and keep some of my boat in a Ziploc baggie so they don't get wet. And then I keep a couple cases in my locker there at the marina, and they get used a lot. Matt says always keeps bottle. Yeah, I think one of the things we don't do when it's cold is we don't drink enough. And not being hydrated stops your body from doing some things it needs to do to keep you warm. Stops your body from doing some things it needs to be 100% working. I think a lot of that is who wants to take all that crap off and take a leak, right? That's kind of the big thing there. Dave Fowler says he likes the Reaper without the face cover, and they make it both. Well, you guys are awesome. I mean, I love the comments. Dennis says, whatever you do, don't wait till you're freezing to do something about it. Oftentimes it's too late. You're right. Yeah, once you start feeling yourself get a little bit cold, do something. If you can do it before, you're better off. Getting cold is a bad deal, man. Sometimes it's hard to get warm. Jeff Morrow. Yes, Jeff, I will. I'll share the Trax Tech code. Jim Bishop, can you give me the link for the socks? I will. Mick, Mick, if your aunt does sell socks or sells alpaca products, let me know. If not, I'm going to find another link. So give me about a half hour after the show. So we're going to be done about 8. Give me till about 8:30. I'm going to find some links for you guys, and I'll put them up on the Teachin Fishin Facebook page. So Jeff, when you get a free minute today, check that. I'll have the Trax Tech code up here, and I will also have the alpaca link that I use. And if Mick's aunt sells them, we'll get her link up here too. I'd love to give her the business. So Jimmy Bishop, sit tight. So by 8:30, come back to the Teachin Fishin Facebook page. I'll have a wrap of what we talked about today, and I'll have the links on there for what we talked about. So there you go. Is there a Teachin Fishin promo code for the Fish Hawk? If you want a Fish Hawk, Mike, send me an email, teachinfishin@gmail.com. I'll take care of you through there. So order it from me, and I can take care of you better than give it. There really isn't a promo code, and it's kind of a headache to go through that. So get a hold of me, let me know what you want, and then we'll take care of you with special pricing on the Fish Hawk. So teachinfishin@gmail.com. Hey Larry, Mitchell says, I always wear what's called a dickie. I used to have a really, really awesome thermal dickie, and I can't find it. I like my neck warmer. I like stuff on my neck. And you can't find good quality. And I used to ski a lot when I was in high school and in college. And they used to be able to find really nice thermal. Back then it was polypropylene was what we were wearing on our body. High turtlenecks that actually came up to here and folded down and doubled up. You can't find those anymore. Everything's just mock stuff. And I like my neck warmer, Mitch. You're right. A good dickie would be awesome. Chuck Mason, and actually, was it Chuck or Mix? He just posted the, I'm going to click on that link and see what that is, just so I got it here. There we go. So that link that Chucky just posted, opentip.com, is actually what they call the wrist wallets. That's what he's using. His zippers that up, puts a hand warmer in there, and rolls them down on the bottom inside of his wrist. Chucky, thank you, bud. That is an awesome. That is an awesome tip there, bud. Appreciate that. Uh-oh, Chris Drew's fighting COVID. Hang in there, brother. Doug McComb says, Mother Erie will get you in shape. uh, yes, she will. Matt Peterson says, good morning from snowy Houghton Lake. I know it was kind of spitting here. John Gawley says, as a friend that's a pretty big guy, where can you find like a 5X or bigger life jacket? I don't know that you can. I would check like the Stearns site, the Onyx site, the people that make those inflatable life jackets. See if they have a big person one. I don't know if they do. Chris is 385 last March. Lost 85. Yeah, I got no problem losing the weight. I know exactly how to do it. I just need to do it. All right, there you go. Roy says, I have wool mittens that flip over with the fingers cut out. Works great, but you have to keep them dry. I also have the Hydronaut gloves when it gets cold. I had a pair of those wool flip-ups, and I threw them away, literally threw them away after about the first 30 minutes. I had hooks in them. There's just too much there. I know we get guys that wear them on the boat. They come on a charter and they wear them, and usually I end up taking 3 or 4 stinger hooks out of them by the end of the day. And you try to unhook a fish, and if you guys find gloves and mittens you can fish with, more power to you. I just haven't found a pair yet that I'm comfortable with, and I think that has to do with my hands. I like my hands to be free. It bugs me. Spend the money on good outerwear. It's worth it. Just bought an Eskimo ice float, pants and coat. Was on sale by Saturday. Stayed very warm. I do like it. Kim says he's on blood thinners. He has to watch it. He says if he nicks himself shaving, yeah, I'm sure that's kind of a thin blood and cold weather don't mix. You're right, they do not mix. My wife's on blood thinners too, and she's very cold. Jim Pearson says Frank's had 4X to 7X life jackets on sale for $50. So there you go. But all right, good conversation today, guys. Just kind of something fun. I hope you guys got out this weekend. Mick, again, if your aunt sells those online, let me know. Send me that link, and I'd love to give her some business. Let's wrap it up right there. We're closing on 8 o'clock. Hope you guys have a great week. I'm going to, like I said, give me about 10, 15 minutes here. I'm going to find a couple links for you guys, and I will post them up. We'll do a wrap-up post here on Teachin Fishin. If you are here today and you have not, please, I'm begging you, please go over to our YouTube page. Go over to youtube.com. I'm going to give you the link right now. Find our Teachin Fishin page and please subscribe. We've went from basically 100 subscribers to almost 500 in less than a week and a half. So that is pretty exciting, but we definitely need more subscribers. We got a lot of cool stuff coming. YouTube lets us do some really cool things that we can't do other places. They allow you to not have to work with the Facebook format and do some other things that we can do over there. So please, if you have not if you're not subscribed to our Teachin Fishin YouTube page, please do that. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to give away a free fishing trip. So it'll be a day on the water as a charter on Saginaw Bay or Detroit River, or you can come to the education weekend next year if you win. So there you go. John Hakalis has been using your advice for Virginia freshwater stripers and starting to have success. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Like we've always said, right? Fishing's fishing. I don't care if you're in a 10-foot deep farm pond fishing for bluegills sitting on a bucket, or you're 12 miles offshore chasing tuna. What we teach and how we teach it applies everywhere. I mean, and you guys who are good anglers, when you step back and look at what you do exactly that. I mean, what we're teaching is not magic. It's what good fishermen do. They think about things in an organized way, and they make changes one thing at a time. And when they make a change, they get a yes or no answer, and that leads them to the next step. It's basic fishing. So glad to hear that it's working somewhere else. Randy says serious innovations. Yeah, I have some serious stuff. I have a pair of gloves with a touch pad touch fingers. I don't use a lot, but those are, if I do put gloves on, those are the ones I use. So I use my touch screen. You know, they have some really good headgear stuff. So they have some cool stuff there. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up so we can get out of here. Again, don't forget to go over to the Facebook page or the Teachin Fishin YouTube page. Please subscribe to that. Give me about 10 minutes here and we'll get some links up for you. If you are watching this on tape or recorded, just go back to the Teachin Fishin Facebook page and there will be a link of the wrap up of our coffee hour today. All right, guys, thank you for your time. Have a great week. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. We will see you next Monday for sure. We'll have another couple days. We'll have an announcement on the Teachin Fishin Facebook page about what's going on in December at Teachin Fishin. We're going to kind of back off a little bit. I think we're going to do kind of a best of type thing and kind of show some seminars that we showed earlier this year and maybe do a few more little live chats in December. And then January, we're going to get right to some hardcore teaching stuff. So get ready. We will have the new information up for the, you got it, Matt, don't worry, buddy. We'll have information up the end of this week for the new Teachin Fishin Anglers Club. So the subscription service we had this year and the Teachin Fishin Anglers Club or the Walleye 101 Anglers Club we've had for about 12 years. Those are going to all be combined under umbrella called the Teachin Fishin Anglers Club. And that will give you access to more content that the regular public doesn't get. Discounts on equipment, discounts on gear, discounts on trips. First sign up when we start doing we've got some really cool things planned for January, February, March, as far as classes that are going to be very, very intense and you have to sign up to pay for and participate. If you're a member of the Teachin Fishin Anglers Club, you'll get first crack at signing up. There'll be an early sign up period. So lots of things with that Teachin Fishin Anglers Club. The big thing is content that everybody else doesn't get. We've got some really cool hardcore stuff coming, and we've got some really hardcore stuff we're saving for the Anglers Club. So that information will be available by the end of the week. We're knocking down all the things we have to do to get that set, and then we will announce that. All right, let's wrap it up with the three things we always wrap up with. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Number one, if you're struggling with something, it may be personal, it may be professional, it may be relationship-wise, it may be money-wise, it may be a project you're having a hard time with. If you've got something you just feel like you can't get done, find one thing you can do today to make it better and get that done. It may be as simple as you just need to eat better. You just need to, whatever the case may be, guys, find one thing. Hi, Steph and Noah. In honor of our good friend Duncan Wooster, find one thing you can do today to make it better and get that thing done. Then you're on to a good day. Second thing, reach out. I'm still struggling some days. Reach out. If there's somebody you haven't talked to in a while, somebody you know is hurting, reach out to them and just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I just need to let you know I'm thinking about you. Just reach out. A lot of people in trouble right now. And honestly, a lot of men are in trouble who won't reach out because it's not the cool thing to do if you're a guy. So I'm encouraged, if you are a guy and you are struggling, reach out to somebody. You got to do it in private. Say, hey, I need some help. If you have a buddy that maybe you know is in a situation where you got a feeling that they could use some help, be the person that just reaches out and touches them. You just never know when you're going to be the person that stops something bad and turns it around to be good. We all have that power, and that's an amazing power. So reach out to somebody. And thirdly, be kind. Man, just be kind. I'm really getting tired of everybody just being so mad at the other side, or putting a label on somebody. Stop doing that. Stop posting crappy memes that put somebody or something or some party or some in a bad. Stop. Because I guarantee you, everything you do is going to piss off half of the people that are watching. The way things are today, you're not going to change anybody's mind. What you think are true facts, they're going to completely deny. What they think are true facts, the way things are today, you're probably going to completely deny. So why? What difference does it make? If it's a post or a comment, stop. Just be kind. I get it. We're all frustrated. Everybody's frustrated about what's going on. Everybody. There's not a single person who's not. The people that think you should wear a mask are upset with us that don't think we should wear masks. People that don't think we should, just stop. Just be kind. Love your neighbor as yourself, right? Second commandment. Just be kind. How much better would the world be if we were just all kind all the time? Just be kind. That's my message for today. Be kind. Mitch, I'm going to hold off on catch another week. So not this week, next week. Anyway, all right, I'm going to wrap it up. I always take too long to wrap up. I need to start wrapping up at 7:30. But I always feel bad when I leave you guys, because I feel like, all my friends are gone. Anyway, have a great week. We'll chat with you later. Give me about 10 minutes. I'll get these links up, and we'll get you going on stuff you need. So, all right, guys, have a great week. Thanks for watching. Please go over to the YouTube page, subscribe. Please tell your friends. Send a link to them and ask them to subscribe. We really need to get those subscribers up around 1,000. All right, guys, have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.